And welcome to another episode of the Rescue Rundown. I'm Dave Morris alongside Abby Wolfe with the Central Oklahoma Humane Society. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. You just closed on a house, so congratulations on that.
Thank
that
you.
is always
Thank
a process.
You. Finally. But now we're going to start the uphill climb of remodeling. So
that's kind of fun / challenging / what you make of it.
I mean, it's just what you make of it, I guess. So it's going to be fun.
It's a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
We're also live on Facebook Live, just kind of behind the scenes of how we put together some of our studio videos, so you can follow us on the NewsOK's Facebook page as well. I have my iPhone turned towards the puppy here, and who's our guest this week?
This is Fiona. Fiona is a 3-month-old Australian Shepherd mix, and boy, is she adorable.
Man, how cute is she?
The viewers on Facebook are really getting a good puppy cam shot here, but Fiona is just a playful, sweet little girl who is looking for a home to go to today. She's available officially today.
She's available for adoption. Our producer, Paige Dillard, was wondering if Fiona is perhaps inspired from the movie Shrek. Do we know?
We aren't sure exactly where her name came from.
As far as a name,
I think it's her foster's just chosen name. She also has a sibling that has a cute name. So we're going to go ahead and say yes, it's from Shrek, but it can be whatever you want it to be. We can actually change the name when you adopt it.
I was about to say, or you could rename Fiona to something else.
Exactly.
And how did you happen along Fiona?
Fiona came to us as an owner surrender, which means that somebody, their dogs accidentally had puppies, and whoops, now we can't take care of them. And so she came to us with her siblings, and they're all available today.
Which is one of the responsible things to do, as opposed to just shutting the door on them, kicking them out.
Absolutely.
All right, well, today we're talking about reasons not to shop for your next pet. And what does that mean?
This is such an important topic. Oklahoma is ranked one of the highest states. It's in the top 10 states for puppy mills. So I think this discussion is important, and buying your pet can mean anything from going to someone's house who has been breeding the breed of dog that you're looking for, or even stopping at a pet store, which luckily we don't have any in the Oklahoma City metro area, but there are plenty of breeders out there. So we wanted to give some warning signs and tell you some reasons why that might not be a good idea for you.
Well, let's get into it. As we call it the Rescue Rundown, let's run down the reasons why that may not be a great idea.
Okay, well, let's start with health. Whenever you are breeding a dog, and heavily breeding dogs, it's not always you're not always looking for the health of the dog being the biggest benefit. You're looking for mostly money whenever these breeders are breeding these dogs. So that can often mean that these highly bred dogs, their problems within their breed are magnified. So for example, we all love King Charles Cavaliers. They're gorgeous dogs, but they also, when bred heavily, results in heart problems. A lot of King Charles Cavaliers suffer from heart conditions. The same goes with Great Danes. Great Danes often get hip problems, hip dysplasia. And these issues can be magnified when breeding these dogs with these issues over and over and over again.
What about the conditions the dogs are raised in?
You know, this is the hardest one for me to talk about, definitely. The humane treatment of dogs in puppy mills is not exactly the top priority. Like I said, it's mostly the profit of the dog. We have seen everything from dogs never being touched before in their lives, never being petted by an owner or shown any love, so they're terrified of humans. But the worst things that we see are dogs being kept in these 36-inch cages for their entire life, adult dogs that have never touched grass. You can imagine what that feels like on your paws.
I hadn't thought about that when you sent me the advance notes on today's episode. I was like, wow, I hadn't thought about that. But you're right. Their paws wouldn't have ever touched grass or asphalt or anything like that.
It's heartbreaking. You can see some video, if you just search footage of puppy mills, you can see where their paws are cut up because they've just been walking on cages all day, every day. It's very sad.
So the humane treatment of the animal may not be up to what we would think would be a proper condition.
Exactly. You know, nobody wants to think of the precious little puppy that they're buying in the pet store coming from something like that, but the truth is a lot of them actually do.
Well, speaking of that, you mentioned the money, but there's also the breed part and the papers.
Let's talk about papers. Let's get real on papers really fast. So the AKC registered papers, they're great, but the only purpose of those papers is to tell you that the dog is purebred. Those papers, the AKC papers that everybody's clamoring to get, actually don't tell you that the health of the dog is great. They also don't tell you that it is the best breed representation. So sure, it might be a purebred Maltese, but that doesn't mean it's the best representation of a Maltese, if that makes any sense.
So it's just a paper certifying that it is
purebred, which comes with its own issues.
Okay, very good. On the other hand, we do have good breeders. We should say that. in the state.
Yeah, you know, we want to say that there are some good breeders out of the 2,000 estimated in our state right now, which puts us at the top of the list. And there are some real true signs to look for. If you are needing to buy from a breeder, if you really want to do that, then there are some things that you need to look for specifically to make sure that that breeder is responsible.
And such as, what might be some of those things?
The top one, first and foremost, is if you cannot see where that dog has or cat has been staying for their time there, then run. Because we really need to make sure that you're seeing the actual facility in which the dogs are being kept. You also need to see their parents. So if they're willing to show you their home or wherever they have been staying with the parents of the dog, then that's really important.
Meeting the parents is always important, right?
Meeting the parents, that's right.
Are you going to like mom and dad? Or
Absolutely.
Well, obviously, Central Oklahoma Humane Society is yet another destination where you can...
That's right. You know, we always talk about adoption being an option, and of course, it should be everyone's first option. The shelter, I've worked at OK Humane for a year now, a little over a year, and I've seen everything from purebred Yorkies to purebred Maltese mix, pugs, and everything in between. And I encourage anybody who's looking for a new pet and is looking for a specific breed for whatever reason that might be, check out your local shelters first before you could actually save a life and find what you're looking for. And it's just your best option to really start with, but we wanted people to be prepared to know what they're getting themselves into when looking for a purebred dog.
All right, good stuff. Fiona, really well-behaved little girl.
Just doing the princess thing today.
Hey, let's conclude with this. How did this past weekend go? You had a fundraiser with Coop Ale.
Oh my goodness, knocked it out of the park. We raised over $22,000.
Congrats.
Thank you, for so many lives saved, and plus had a great time.
Two sessions, I believe.
2 sessions. I think we had about 1,600 people show up.
Wow.
It was a good time. They had lots of good brews. They launched a lot of new products, and just great time. We love Coop.
People love them some local craft beer, and can't blame them for that.
Yes.
All right, go see Fiona. She may or may not be available later today.
Quickly, before she gets
my
snatched
guess,
up.
she'll go quickly. Abby, thanks as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
You can watch these episodes on newsok.com and the website of the Central Oklahoma Humane Society.